Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm joined by Christine Seale. Super excited to talk to Christine. She's one of our top affiliates. She's absolutely killing it with High Level. But we're going to talk about a couple of things. So Seale Digital was and is Christine's agency. And now Christine has a new venture called HighLevel that we'll get to. Hi, Christine.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So Christine, when we were going over notes for the show, you mentioned that you had a pretty good career in IT and that you actually left a six-figure salary to start your agency. Now, some people might call that crazy, right? I mean, the goal of most agency entrepreneurs is to get to six figures. So you were there and you left to take this big leap. Why? Tell us why. What motivated that?
Well, that's a great question. So I had a 20-year career in IT, and I was really, really tired of like the corporate hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was unhappy for a while. I got really tired of just having to do very mundane things that I didn't feel challenged me or utilized my talents whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the corporate life. You just do what your boss tells you to do, and then you redo it because your boss tells you to redo it. And then you do it again. And it just got really tiring, and I was really just burned out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had my youngest son in 2017, it was the catalyst for me leaving my career. And I would have never dreamed that I would leave that job. I mean, it was a very cushy job. I could buy whatever I wanted. I never worried about money. And I was just unhappy, though, as a person. So I had my son in August of 2017, and I took a 4-month maternity leave.
Okay.
I went to a job in January with the full plan to just quit, but I made it a week before I put in my notice. And I was planning on giving 2 weeks, and I had a panic attack because I couldn't leave my baby, I missed him so much. And I went in and I talked to my boss again, and I said, hey, since I'm leaving and it's the new year, do you really need me to stay for 2 weeks? Like, do you still, we wrapped up all our projects. Do you need me to stay? And she was like, no, you can go ahead and go if you want. And I'm like, yes. And I just remember, when I walked out that door, I felt so free. I just felt liberated. I felt free. I felt like I broke my, golden handcuffs or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was
Did you have
wonderful.
any clients at that time? A lot of people make the transition because they've taken a client or two on the side and they're like, oh, this is for me and I just need to make the jump. So you just jumped blindly.
Yeah, and my husband has a really good job, so that helped a lot. He still works. We actually met at my former employer, and he still works there. So now my next goal is for him to be able to leave. So hopefully they don't watch this.
Is he going to work for you?
No.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
So you left corporate. Sorry, go ahead.
But he does want to stay home so he can watch our son, who's now 2.5. So he's very, very good at that. And that's our next goal.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, best of luck to him on that. So you headed out on this new career path and you decided you're going to start a marketing agency. Did you go into it saying, hey, I'm going to focus on a niche? Or did you go into it saying, hey, I'm just give me some clients?
No, I actually started a blog. So I started blogging for a while.
Okay.
So,
about IT?
No, it was about food. I started a food blog. Which is kind of crazy. So I kind of skipped a step in my past. my background is web design and web development. So I first started my entrepreneurial journey in 1998 designing HTML websites and front page. Okay, so I go way back.
Nice.
So that was why I kind of I started a blog because I was like, okay, I'll just start a little website, just play around with it because I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't have kids, newborns sleep 24/7, and I needed something to do. Like, I just can't be idle. And then I tried it for a while. I pumped out lots of content. It didn't make me any money, but I was fascinated with SEO. And so I actually got my blog to #1 on several different search terms, and I actually got it into the Google suggested answers.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of what got me fascinated with like SEO and just kind of going down that path.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I was in corporate, I didn't spend very much time on Facebook because I literally had no time. And somehow Facebook knew that I liked marketing. And so they started showing me all these like Dan Henry and Sam Ovens ads. And I'm like, what's this? Oh gosh, that's like the biggest rabbit hole ever, right?
Right.
And I didn't buy anything at that time. I ended up joining a couple Facebook groups and just kind of lurking. I was like one of the lurkers because I just wanted to see what it was about. And I ended up honestly not buying anything until I had my first client. So my first real client is a med spa here in Wichita, and she's still my client. So she's been my client since December of 2018, and she has like a laser clinic.
Nice.
So I thought I had to do everything myself. I had to learn ads. I had to learn how to do everything on my own. And we launched right before Christmas. And I remember being on Christmas holiday with my family on my laptop the entire break because I was trying to figure out how to run ads. It was the most ridiculous thing. I had no clue what I was doing, and I admit it. And so I operated like that for a while. I really focused on her, and I focused on getting results for her for like 4 months before I even prospected anymore because I didn't want to get another client and not know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in April, I signed 3 clients in a week, and I had a panic attack. I was like,
good week.
And that happened. And I started freaking out because I knew I was using the Zapier, ClickSend, CallRail, ActiveCampaign, spaghetti that we all used to use before HighLevel. And I thought, oh my God, there is no freaking way that I don't have time to set up 3 clients in a week. It takes me like 12 hours per client, like literally.
Yeah.
And I was getting complaints.
And you forget to connect something, and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, why are there no results? Oh my gosh.
Where's my leads? Oh my God, they're not coming through. So, and my first client didn't like the setup really because it would keep texting people after they booked, and it would she couldn't reply to the text. And then if they texted the CallRail number, it didn't go through. So she was pretty frustrated with the setup as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I heard about HighLevel, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that seems way too good to be true. Like, there's no way that this is possible. And this was before snapshots. And I remember I thought, okay, I'm just going to sign up. I'm just going to see what happens. Go for it, because I'm spending way too much time setting these guys up, and I'm doing this all myself. So I signed up, and I log in, and it's white, and I have no clue what's going on, how to do it.
I remember that.
So a funny story. My business partner for Nerd Level is David Murillo, and I actually am his 2nd tier affiliate, which is the weirdest thing ever, that it worked out that way. But he had videos, over-the-shoulder videos on how to set everything up. So that's why I signed up underneath the person I signed up that was under him because I got the videos. So I'm binge watching these over the shoulder videos, trying to like set everything up. And once I figured it out, it was like, okay, this is amazing. Like, I am never ever going back here. Okay. And I don't know what took me so long to find it. I mean, I think it took me several months after it had been out to find it, but I'm never going back. I'm sold. Okay. And guys, if you're not using HighLevel for real, what are you waiting for? Because now you have snapshots, right? And you can literally clone your campaigns and you can automate it, and it's amazing.
Well, I'm glad you brought up David, because you guys and Nerd Level are taking that one step further, and that's the third thing I want to talk about today. So let's talk about the second thing, which is, let's flash forward. You started this in 2018. Now you're at the 10K mark. And I feel like the $10,000 monthly recurring revenue is sort of like the first major milestone in every digital marketing agency entrepreneur's sort of path. It's the first big barrier. Once you hit that, you sort of achieved a level of stability, I think. And it's an important milestone. And you're at this milestone, and you've got two paths in front of you, which reminds me of the interview I did with Alex Schlutsky, who built an agency for marketing for lawyers, got it to like the first milestone, and then was like, you know, I'm not like in love with lawyers. I want to open up a second path for myself. So he's, you know, he still has that agency going, and he's got this new path too. So we'll talk about your second path, Nerd Level, in a minute. But what's the future of Seale Digital? Do you have a next major milestone? Do you have a number pegged that you want to hit next?
So honestly, I'm only taking on clients on like a case-by-case basis now. I'm not actively prospecting new ones because I'm really focusing on Nerd Level. And it is really hard to run multiple companies. I think most entrepreneurs know that. I mean, we get one idea and then the next idea and the next idea. And it's like, okay, stop, you know?
Yeah.
And I have an Airbnb as well.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, stop. So I'm pretty picky about who I work with on that side. If it's like a referral or someone that I know personally, then I consider it. But other than that, I'm actively reaching out.
And do they have to be in a particular niche to even pique your interest?
Yes, it has to be a laser clinic.
Okay. Great. And I think that's, you know, I'm sure in the beginning, were you just taking laser clinics as well all along, or did you dabble in other industries?
Oh, I dabbled. Yeah, I definitely dabbled, and I would say if I could do it all over, I would not have done that, because I think not choosing a niche sets you back months, honestly.
Yeah, and that's sort of like the agency entrepreneur's major challenge, right? Because in the beginning, you just need money. You just need clients, and it's like the idea of saying no to somebody who's ready to pay you is crazy. But having the foresight that you have now at the 10K mark, it's like you said, it can often really set you back.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would have gotten there faster if I had not tried to market random things.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I did insurance for a while. I did roofing. I did landscapers. You know, like, come on, Christine, what are you doing?
Nice. So before we talk about what Nerd Level is, do you have a major milestone goal for Nerd Level?
Yeah, so our first month, we got to 10K. So
wow, so your first business was 2 years to get there, and your next one was what, 2 months or 1 month?
Like a month, yes.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so for sure, our next goal is 20K. We want to hit that, I would say, by March, but it's probably going to be sooner. But with the agencies combined at 20K right now, so the 10 to 20 happened in like a month, which was crazy because, like you said, it took me 2 years to get to 10. But once you kind of figure out a good flow and figure out sales, then figure out what you're selling. Okay, so like Alex always teaches that too. He's like, know what you're selling and be consistent and have a product summary. And you have to have a lot of calls to get to where you need to be. I mean, you have to have a lot of calls because you don't know what people want until you have calls with them.
Exactly.
So you have to test out everything, basically.
So, and this is something that always interests me. So I know you have your next monetary milestone that you want to hit, but what is driving you in this? Like, what's your grand goal? And I should ask people more. I should ask this more when I interview people because I'm always curious to see, do you have one? I feel like a lot of people just set out and they're like, I just want to keep growing and growing and growing. Whereas some people are like, nope, I'm going to hit 1 million and then I'm going to write a book or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's not monetary. It's like, it's more, you've heard of like being the content king, right? So people have been calling me the queen of high level. So like, I want to be the queen of high level. Like that's my goal.
Well,
100%.
I was going to say that you're pretty prolific. I've seen in the video space, you're putting out videos left and right, which I think is fantastic. And yet you were nervous about doing this, which is pretty funny.
I am very introverted, so it's been a challenge just getting myself out there and getting my face on video.
And how did you overcome that?
Just practice.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I used to challenge myself. I used to go live every day for a while. And if you go back on my Facebook profile and like Facebook stalk me, you can see my old videos from when I was doing like the health space. And I literally just got on Facebook Live every day, rain or shine, same time every day.
And for how long did you do that?
Like 3 months, 4 months, maybe. It was crazy. Like that's a little much right now. Okay.
And do you have a regiment now? Do you put out a video a week or more or less than that?
Yeah, so I do a weekly Facebook Live, and I used to do it on my personal profile. Now I'm doing them on my business profile. So my business profile is named Christine Seale, Seale Digital. And then I publish a video every week on YouTube as well. And you can find me at Christine Seale on YouTube. And I'm going to do a pretty exciting series coming up next. So if you guys go over there and subscribe, you'll get notifications when I post my new video series.
Nice.
I'm not going to tell you what it is, though.
All right. Well, I'll follow along. So let's talk about number 3, nerd level. Nerd level is exciting for you, obviously, but also, I think, for the high level community. So you partnered up with David, as you mentioned, who is a high level setup ninja, I would say. And so you guys, your company is available to help people build out high levels, right? But you've also sort of built out packages, I think. And what I'm really interested to hear about is sort of taking it the next level, which is you guys build things that actually unfold itself, right? So if I'm an agency, I get a new client, I essentially hit a button and then the whole thing sort of starts to unfold. As far as setups, right?
Yeah, so you're
Tell us about that and how that works, because to be honest, I haven't even done this with the Zap yet. I know it's possible, but I haven't actually done it. So I'm curious to hear more about it.
For sure, cool. So we do a couple different things. One is we do a fully automated back-end agency setup. So what that means is we automate everything from when a lead comes in to your pipeline, to when you set up a demo with them, to when they close, to when they pay you, all the way through until they've been a client for 60 days. We've actually also, with one of our clients, we automated the follow-up retention piece to infinity.
Well, so let's talk about that, the first 60 days, because this is pretty cool, right? So this is something, even at my own agency, after 6 years, we didn't have that first onboarding phase fully automated. Even though we should have, took steps several times, and never got out of the way. So we're talking about a lead comes in, now they're in the pipeline, stage changes, contracts go out, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys use webhooks with any of the like e-contract providers?
We have used a couple different ones, but we prefer PandaDocs.
PandaDocs. Okay, interesting. And then when we talk payment, I'm assuming Stripe, right?
Stripe, Docs, ChargeBee. You can pretty much do any of the above.
Okay, cool. So that whole process, basically onboarding,
Uh-huh.
you guys will build out for an agency.
Yes.
And talk about how important that is. I mean, how much time, like, I'm just trying to think in my own mind how much time that would actually save.
Oh gosh, it's invaluable. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about how much time you spend per new client to get them onboarded and set up, it's a lot of time. And, instead of having to sit there and wait for them to pay you so you can hit the button to send them an email to fill out their onboarding form, it's all automated.
And
Instead
you're
of,
doing that through PandaDocs, so PandaDocs takes the payment as well as gets the e-signature?
mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and instead of like having to hire and train a VA and then worry that they're going to mess it up and send it to the wrong person, it's automated. So it's not going to mess up unless it's not set up right. But,
So then does PandaDocs have a Zap or using webhooks where it's like, okay, agreement was signed. Now they moved in the pipeline. Now we're waiting on payment. Payment happens, moves them over again.
right. Yeah. So we're kicking off with the PandaDoc, and then once they pay, they're automatically sent the onboarding form.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know when they fill that form out, and then they automatically move to the next stage, and so on.
Very cool. And then tell us what happens like the unfold. So it goes all the way through, and then at some point their account just gets created, right?
So we can do that a couple different ways.
Mm-hmm.
We work one-on-one with the agency owner
Mm-hmm.
to come up with their processes and standardize everything that we just talked about, plus
Mm-hmm.
their messaging. And most of the agencies that we've worked with so far don't have that standardized. They send a different message to each person. They're emailing randomly. They don't have consistent anything. They don't have a consistent onboarding form. So we sit down with them one-on-one. We go through their whole process. We say, how can we make this better? This is what we recommend. And then that's what we implement. And we also set up their Zaps so that, their automations on the back end, so that if they have a team or they're going to hire a team, the team is notified automatically as well when there's a new client with all the information they need to set up. And you can either have us set up each client for you, which we're available to do. We do custom builds as well. So we have a copywriter on our team that will actually write your copy. And she's awesome. She used to work for Rachel Peterson. So she writes very highly converting stuff.
Nice.
And then, or you can have us automate it for you. If you're in the same niche and you want to use the exact same setup every time, we can do that too.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of getting at, right? So in the
Mm-hmm.
HighLevel Zap, you can basically assign a snapshot to it, right? And then trigger to create a location with the business information with
Mm-hmm.
the snapshot already preloaded, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It is. I love it. I wish they had it like a year ago, but
I know. Tell me about it, right?
yeah.
That's super cool. So, I mean, I can't imagine how much this could help somebody out. Even, like I said, looking back, having run an agency for 5 years, we still didn't have all that together.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially if you've been running an agency, you're so busy that, I use this analogy all the time where the cobbler's children have no shoes because they're too busy making shoes for other people. And so I feel like a lot of agencies don't spend time tidying up their own house internally to make things more efficient. So you just keep on wasting time. And
Exactly.
that's pretty cool. So you guys have sort of found this this need, and
Hmm.
this is your new path, and it's Nerd Level, right? So where do people
Right.
go if they want to check it out? Is the website up yet?
We have, well, kind of. Typically, I've been getting a lot of DMs. So, actually, if you want to go to my Facebook page, Christine Seale, Seale Digital, you can send me a message there. And I also have a YouTube channel if you want to find more. We have nerdlevel.io that we're launching soon. Right now, we have a basic landing page that's just set up to give more information about HighLevel, but we are going to be updating that very soon.
Very cool. And do you want to show off the t-shirt?
Oh, fine. This is our logo.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know.
So
My camera won't show it all at once.
I know my Hot Ones gets cut off too. For all the Hot Ones fans out there. So Christine, I wanted to ask you one last question that I forgot to tell you I was going to ask you about,
Oh,
but I think it'll be fine.
okay.
Being one of our top affiliates, what advice do you have to other high-level customers that want to generate more affiliates underneath them, but aren't really sure how to do that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you have any tips of what's been most successful for you?
Okay, I would say just providing people value is a
Mhm.
great place to start. I helped probably 60 agencies with HighLevel before I turned it into a business.
How do those agencies find you? Like, how do you get in front of other agencies?
um, I'm in a lot of coaching programs with other agency owners. And when you're in a coaching program, you develop really close relationships with people. And
Good
just
point.
having, yeah, and just having a conversation with them and being a real person and offering to help them helped me out a lot. And I would say just being like genuine, not going for the sign up or for how can I help you? Uh, I know that that's kind of rare. You're not really going to find that in a lot of people. They don't really genuinely want to help. They just want the affiliate.
Hmm.
But for me, I really care about my affiliates and I want them to succeed and I want them to love HighLevel as much as I do. I love HighLevel. Like I'm like your number one fan, okay? But I want them to stay and I want them to love it and I want them to switch everything to it.
Yeah.
I want them to cancel all their other stuff and save money.
Well, that's another good point. You can, help people save money. But I think you brought up a really good point
Yeah.
that, gets talked about a lot, but I don't know. I feel like you need to hear it, I don't know, 100 times before it sinks in and you take action, which
Mm-hmm.
is invest in your own personal growth. Like go
Yeah.
into a coaching program. There are tons of people within the high level community. I've already interviewed a few who have their own programs, but pick one that you think makes sense for you and go for it because you're really accomplishing two things that you just pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
One, you're going to grow personally and you're going to grow in your industry. You're going to get better at your craft. But
Mm-hmm.
two, it puts you into a community where there might be other people who haven't found high level yet, which can be a really good pool of potential affiliates to go underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
So good tip.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
All right, Christine. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Best of luck with both paths. And
Thanks.
I'm sure Nerd Level will be registered in the new partner program once the marketplace rolls out. So we look forward to
Oh,
seeing you there.
cool. Well, do you know like when that's coming out?
Um, it should be before Q2, I think, of this year.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
the
What
hope.
are what are we gonna see in the marketplace?
So the idea is that people will be able to go to the marketplace and browse through our certified partners um, to see what they specialize in, what they're offering, what they sell, but also see ratings about them from other community members to get a sense of, hey, this person is in my niche. It makes sense. I'm going to go check out this course that they offer, or this program, or
Okay.
whatever it may be. So we want to just connect community members with community leaders that make sense for them without,
Mhm.
having to blindly take any leaps.
Cool. That sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about
Yay, cool.
it. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see
Thank you.
everybody else in the next episode.
Bye.